All right, welcome to The Explainer. Artificial intelligence in finance isn't some far-off sci-fi idea. It's here, right now, and it's completely changing how money moves around the globe. So let's just dive right in. So, when you hear AI, you probably picture something straight out of a movie, right? Like this. But the reality? It's way less about sci-fi and way more about the super practical, incredibly powerful algorithms that are right now making huge financial decisions every single second. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get a handle on just how massive this AI revolution in finance really is. Then, we'll see how it's actually managing our money. After that, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible AI engine running everything behind the scenes. And to wrap it all up, we'll talk about the big takeaway. What's next? All right, section one, let's talk about the revolution itself. I mean, we really need to understand the scale of this thing, because this isn't just some small tweak. We're talking about a fundamental change to the entire industry, and wow, is it happening fast. Okay, so let's be super clear here. When we talk about AI in finance, we're not talking about some all-knowing, Skynet-level superintelligence. No, what we're really talking about is narrow AI. Think of them as specialists. They're absolute geniuses at one specific thing, whether that's picking a stock, sniffing out fraud, or just answering your question in a chat window. So just how big is this revolution when we talk about money? Well, get ready for this. The projections are showing global spending on AI is going to hit a jaw-dropping $632 times billion by 2028. That's just staggering. And it's not just the spending. The adoption rate is absolutely exploding. I mean, think about this. Back in 2017, only about 20% of companies were really using AI. Fast forward to today, that number has shot up to 72%. And this is where it gets really interesting. The financial sector, it's the single biggest player driving this whole trend. It's pouring in over 20% of all AI investment. Let me say that again. No other industry is betting bigger on AI than finance. Okay, so we've seen the big picture. Now let's zoom in on a really direct application. How AI is actively managing literally trillions of dollars of our money. And you can't talk about AI in finance without talking about the big one, Aladdin. This is BlackRock's legendary AI-powered platform. It's basically this massive, unified system that does everything from building portfolios and trading all the way to managing risk for, wait for it, trillions of dollars in assets. So what's the AI actually doing inside this beast of a platform? Well, you've got the Aladdin Copilot, which is basically a generative AI assistant for the people using it. Then there's AI that digs through all the boring compliance documents to stop fraud. And it even uses machine learning to analyze sustainability reports, helping investors figure out a company's real impact on the world. Okay, that's all pretty impressive, right? But that's still AI helping humans make decisions. So the next question is obvious. Can an AI actually build an entire investment strategy from scratch? Well, to answer that, let's take a look at the Intelligent Livermore ETF. What these guys are doing is really fascinating. It's this hybrid approach, a real partnership between human and machine. So, step one, a human analyst lays out the game plan, the core philosophy. Then, step two, they unleash 3 separate AI models. These models crunch all the data and each one builds its own stock portfolio. And finally, step 3, the human analyst comes back in, looks at what the AIs came up with, and blends them into the final product. It's a true collaboration. Okay, we've thrown around the term generative AI a couple of times, and it's super important we get what it means. See, older AI was all about analyzing data that already existed. Generative AI is different. It creates totally new, original stuff. It can write an email for you, create an image out of thin air, or, like we're seeing here, it can even cook up brand new investment ideas. And trust me, this tech is popping up everywhere. You've got JP Morgan with its Index GPT, which basically uses generative AI to find companies for new investment themes. Then there are platforms like Portfolio Pilot that give you personalized AI-driven advice. And get this, firms like Acadian are using AI to catch companies that are greenwashing, just pretending to be sustainable. So we've seen AI out there on the front lines, picking stocks and building portfolios. But its biggest impact might actually be in the places you never see, in the background, optimizing the incredibly complex machinery that makes the whole financial system work. I mean, just think about it for a second. Every single time a trade happens, there's this mountain of work that has to happen in the background. So how on earth do you find one tiny mistake in trillions of transactions, or make sure every single move is legally compliant. Well, this is where AI just gets mind-blowing. Check out this data from State Street. Okay, so their old system, the one based on human-made rules, it flagged over 31,000 potential errors just to find 250 real ones. I mean, that is a ton of false alarms. Now look at the AI. It only flagged 4,000 alerts, and it found all 250 of the real cases, 100%. It's not just faster, it's so much smarter and way, way more efficient. And this kind of efficiency engine is just humming away in the background everywhere you look. You've got OpsGPT fixing failed trades, Saper is helping marketing teams navigate all the tricky regulations, Goldman Sachs is using AI to automatically read and understand super complex legal contracts. There's even a bond GPT, yep, like ChatGPT for bonds, that makes analytics way easier for traders. And of course, this whole unseen engine is also totally changing how you interact with your bank or brokerage. It's everything from the robo-advisors you see at places like Vanguard to the really smart virtual assistants that Morgan Stanley and Lloyds Bank are using. AI is pretty much the new face of customer service. Okay, so let's bring it all home. What's the big takeaway here? Where is this all going? The answer is pretty clear. The future isn't some battle of humans versus machines. It's all about a powerful new partnership. So let's just quickly recap the 4 huge ways AI is transforming finance. First, its analysis is just superhuman. It can process data way beyond what any person could. Second, it automates all those routine tasks. Third, it allows for this incredible personalization of advice and products. And fourth, it's driving real innovation, creating new strategies and products that just weren't even possible before. You know, there's a quote from our source material that just nails it. It says, "Robots consultants based on AI, exchange-traded funds managed by AI, trading platforms, this is not the future, but the present." And that's exactly right. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. So here's the bottom line. The goal here isn't to replace humans. Not the analyst, not the advisor, not the trader. The winning strategy, the thing that every major firm is chasing, is all about empowering those people, giving them AI tools that make them faster, smarter, and way more effective than they've ever been before. And that leaves us with one last kind of provocative question for you to think about. As these AIs get smarter and smarter, who are you ultimately going to trust more with your money? A human expert or the algorithm that they're using?